Hello and welcome to another breakout session. This is breakout session number 65. I'm calling it 3 shapes on 3 strings. First, as usual, I want to say hello to all the Guitar League members out there around the country that might be watching today. And if you haven't already, I hope that you would subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell, and hit the little like button if you like them. And if you haven't, if you're not a Guitar League member, I hope you subscribe to the Guitar League and my channel. Okay, so today I'm gonna tell you the what, the when, and the why to start with, okay? What we're gonna learn today are triads. And when do you use triads? You can use them anytime you want to replace that chord. That, whatever the name of that chord is, if it's a G chord, you're going to use a G triad. And why are you going to do that? Because a G triad has all the notes of the G chord. Or any triad, major triad, has all the notes of the chord. That's all you need to make a chord. So these are full chords. Okay? So today we're going to go back to 3 shapes, as I said, on 3 strings. We're going to, out of the cage system, we're going to talk about E-shaped chords, D-shaped chords, and A-shaped chords. And we're going to do it in the key of G. So you have the big E-shaped G chord is where we're going to start. Okay. I did a video, well, I'm going to start showing you from the bottom 3 strings up, the highest 3 strings, which I'm going to link a video to that I did in depth on that just recently. And then we're going to go up a set of strings, okay? So let's start with what we started with originally. First, let's find, because we're working in the key of G, let's find all the G notes on these bottom 3 strings, the E, B, G, and D string. So there's a G note here on the E string. There's a G note here on the B string. Obviously there's an open G, but there's a G right on the 12th fret, which is an octave higher than the G open G. And then there's a G on the 4th string right here. So, in the key of G, the G would be the number 1, okay? So in the key of G, the chord consists of a G, a B, and a D. That is the whole G chord, major chord, G, B, D. Let's put numbers to those notes. The G being the root, which would be the 1. The B would be a 3, a major 3 in the scale, G, A, B, okay? And the D would be a 5, okay? So the numbers to the chord would be a 1, 3, 5. A 1, a 3, and a 5 makes the G chord, okay? Starting with a root on G. Okay, so as I said in the previous episode, we're going to take from the big E chord and we're going to play the bottom 3 strings to start real quickly. So this would be an E-shaped G from this E. And then because there's a G right here on the B string, this would be a D-shaped G up here on the 8th fret. And then up here on the 12th fret, we have a G, and that would be a 1, 3, 5, right there. There's a G, B, and a D right there. So those are on the first 3 strings. That would be how you play a G triad. So I want you to watch that video. I'm linking it to the end of this one so you can just keep going right into that. Now, we're going to take the same E, D, and A-shaped chords, triads, and we're going to move it up from the E string. We're going to come up to the B string, the G string, and the D string. So in this scenario, we would play the G like this. There's a G, a B, and a D right there. Again, it's still coming out of the big E-shaped G. So that's a G triad on the B string, the G string, and the D string. So down here where our D shape was, we're going to go up to the, including the D string. So we're coming up from the B string to the G string to the D string. And this would be the shape. This is technically out of a C-shaped G, but we're just going to say that we're doing a D-shaped G, we're putting the third in the bass. Like that. And now we're going to just play on the 12th fret, the D string, the G string, and the B string. So you get a D, G, and a B. By the way, it's the same as open D, G, B. So those three open strings are actually a G chord. Okay, so now you've got these shapes in two places. Okay, so what? Well, here's what, okay? So you can, like I said, you can replace the whole chord when you're like playing with others and they're using, or you have a bass player or another guitar player and they're playing big G chords. You can play these little triads and jump out in the mix. Plus, if you play the notes in the triad individually, that's an arpeggio. So those are G arpeggios. Okay? And that has all the notes in the chord in the arpeggio. Okay? So that's good to know. So you can play those chords in replacing the big chords, okay? The other interesting thing is, so this whole concept works in every key, okay? So let's say we want to do it in the key of C, okay? On the bottom three strings. This would be an A-shaped C, or this would be an A-shaped C if we're going from the D string down. So there's an A-shaped C. Here's an E-shaped C. Right? And here's a D-shaped C. And if you notice, here's the G shape, here's the G chord, and here's the C chord, like right there. And so where are all the D's? Well, here's a D-shaped D, right? Here's a E-shaped D. Here's an A-shaped D. So they're all close to each other, okay? So like this G, C, you could go this way to D, or you could go that way to D. So this is my point. You can play any melody with these shapes, that all the major chord melodies for sure. And then, okay, so we were playing a G right here, right? or right here. So we're on the bottom 3 strings playing it like that. We're on the bottom 4 strings playing it like that. So this is the 3rd here. So if you flatten out the 3rd in a G chord, you now have a minor chord. So these triads also can be turned into minor triads. You know, like a regular D chord, if you just played the bottom 3 strings and you flattened the 3rd, you'd have a D minor. So you can play any kind of triad. You can play 7-chord triads, you can play dominant 7 chords, but that is going to take an additional note, because in a major chord there's the 1, the 3, and the 5. In a major 7 chord you'd have the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7. In a dominant 7 chord you'd have the 1, the 3, the 5, and the flat 7. There is a way to get around that, and it's called shell chords, where you're still going to only play 3 notes, but you can play the 7. So you're going to play the 1, the 3, and the 7, and you're not going to play the 5. Because the 5 is neither minor or major, the 5 note. And so like in jazz, a lot of times they'll just play the 1s, the 3s, the 5s, the 1, the 3, the 7, or the 1, the 3, the flat 7, or the 1, the flat 3, and the 7, you know, if you want to make it a minor, okay? So that's another course. I actually did a course on that called shell chords, okay? But today I just wanted to take from the bottom 3 strings, show you how to do a triad, and then go on the next 3 strings up. You can keep going up, but you're not necessarily going to get a complete triad. You will up here, but as soon as you start going all the way up, you don't have a 3rd up there. So in conclusion, let's just keep this short today. Work on those shapes. If you have any questions about them, please put them down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Hopefully it was clear. I'll put some charts up there too for you, so you can the chord shapes, so you can see the fingerings of them. But just get your fingers around those triads, and then start using them, playing along with music. Start using that in replacement of the chord that, you know, if it says it's a G chord, do a G triad. If it says it's a D chord, do a D triad. C chord, C triad, and so on, till you can feel like, you know, you can play these little chords. And the other thing is, you know, for our old hands, you know, playing these big bar chords can wear you out a little bit. So this way you can have just as much fun and sound better even sometimes by just playing the triads instead of the full-blown chord. Okay? So give it a try, and if you have any questions, as I said, put them down there in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video, so be safe out there.